The session tonight is titled The Poor Repeat Tasks, The Rich Repeat Systems. You have heard me talk about this often, but tonight we are going to unpack it. Because one of the things I have discovered that's very shocking that many of us in the later half of our lives are struggling and will keep struggling financially, unfortunately, because of this one simple thing. We don't have systems. We are repeating tasks. Before you were 40 years old, you were earning income repeating tasks. Now that you're over 40, you are still repeating tasks. And there is no one who can ever repeat tasks to wealth. But the rich continue to repeat tasks, but I beg your pardon, the poor continue to repeat tasks, but the rich repeat systems. So I want you to think about two people, Marcus and Mayer. They are in the same city, they are in the same industry. Marcus wakes up every morning, answers his emails by himself. He prepares the order, drives to town, makes the deliveries himself, pays in the invoices. He does all that. Now, the problem with that is Marcus cannot make money until he shows up. So any day he stops showing up, that's when his money stops. He wakes up every morning and does exactly the same thing. But how about Maya? Maya has the same skills. She is in the same industry, but she thinks differently. What does Maya do? Maya recorded her process once. She recorded it. She hired an assistant. She set up a system that automatically takes care of inquiries about the business, that also automatically takes care of billing and delivery. So today, Maya only works twice in the week, and her business makes more money than ever. Marcus himself is stuck, but Maya is scaling. Marcus is repeating tasks, Maya is repeating systems. And that, my friend, is where the wealth gap truly lives. The poor people repeat tasks, the rich people repeat systems. That's where the wealth gap lies. So now, I want to emphasize one big idea tonight that I would like everyone listening to catch this. And in fact, I usually encourage you to type these things in the chat because you get your nervous system involved, when you are typing and interacting with me. And of course, I'm a coach. It's a coaching session, not just a teaching session. So I will always want some kind of interaction. So the big idea is this. Tasks give you daily bread. Systems bake the bakery. Type that in the comment section. Tasks give you daily bread, but systems bake the bakery. So, the poor people own daily bread. The rich people own the bakery. The poor people repeat tasks. The rich people repeat systems. So I want this truth to hit you really strongly. I really want it to hit you strongly. Being poor doesn't always mean being broke. That's one big misunderstanding, especially in difficult, third world economies, as they call them. People usually look at people who have a lot of money as if they are not poor. But I tell you, many politicians in this part of the world are extremely poor because poor is actually a mental thing. It's a mental problem. Poverty is a mental problem. It's not a money problem. It's not a money problem. That's why if you give the poor, give the poor $1 million today, with his poverty mindset, that $1 million will go within 6 months. But give the rich person, the person who is rich, a mindset, $10,000. And then in 2 years, he's multiplied $10,000 to $100,000 to $500,000. So poor doesn't always mean broke. Sometimes it means mentally trapped in survival mode. And many of your thieving politicians, many of the corrupt politicians are poor. They are poor. Why? Because they are trapped mentally in that survival mode. So what happens when they see public funds? It's like, oh my goodness, this is my chance, this is my opportunity. I may never be a senator again. I may never be whatever again. So they grab it. So being poor means being mentally trapped in survival mode. No matter how much money is coming in, no matter how much money is coming to the poor people, they're always trapped. It's never enough because they are trapped in that survival mode. So the poor people ask, and this is a difference, big difference. The poor people ask, what can I do today to make money? The rich ask, what system can I build today to keep money flowing without me? Very different. And you see, the way the poor people die, and what happens after poor people die, is different from what happens after rich people die. So there are rich people who died, men who died 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Their wife and children's children are still earning income from the trust that the man set up. There are people who died 100 years ago. They set up estates and trusts such that up to today, generations after them are still earning from the system that they built. And you see, this is why 9 to 5 is such a horrible system. I don't know who designed that structure of 9 to 5. Have you noticed that when you die, or when somebody who is 9 to 5 dies, have you noticed that his wife and children, or her children and her husband don't inherit that 9 to 5? Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that if a very good medical doctor dies, her children don't automatically inherit the medical practice? That's the difference. The poor person dies and that's it. Nothing generational, no generational wealth. Because the poor, when he was alive, he kept repeating tasks. And you know from all your loved ones, who have gone on, there's nothing. Nothing is coming from them. But there are people in the grave. That's the beauty of system, because systems run without you. Systems run whether you are alive or you are dead. Bob Marley is still making money for his family. Nearly 40 years or about 40 something years since he died. Elvis Presley is still making money. Chinua Achebe is still making money from the grave because of Things Fall Apart, one book that he created that has been feeding him since now he's dead, feeding his family since 1958 when the book was written. 1958. Imagine creating something in 1958 that fed you through life and continues to feed your family 100 years after. That's how the rich think. The rich people don't wake up and ask, how can I make money today? No, it's only poor people who ask that. Because the question you ask leads to a different outcome. The rich people do not say, how can I make money today? That's survival. But the rich people don't ask, how can I make money today? What rich people ask is, what system can I build today to keep money flowing without me? And for those of you who are entrepreneurs, you're business owners, small business owners, usually when I work with business owners, I ask them, should you take leave from your business? And I would like you, if you're a business owner, please do tell me in the comment section. If you take leave from your business, let's say for 1 year, you decide to go on sabbatical, you decide to go to Hawaii. I have a friend who did that. Stay away from your business for 1 year. How long will your business last while you're away? Will your business still be there 1 year after you come back from sabbatical? Just be honest. Yes or no? Will your business still be there? So that is a question dealing with systems. If you don't have systems, for some entrepreneurs actually say they can't afford to be away. Some small business owners, they say they can't afford to be away from their business, even for 1 week. Even for 1 week. Sales depend on you. Supplying depends on you. Signing checks, preparing invoices, delivering the order, maintaining the vehicles, everything depends on you. So you don't have a system, you're simply repeating tasks. Okay, so now let's go to the what I call the task trap. You can type it in the comment section. Yeah, you can see all the answers coming in. Yeah, a lot of people say no, the business can survive unless they are there. Right, absolutely. So this is what we want to change tonight. We're going to change that tonight. So let's talk about the part one, the first part, which is task. So I call it the task trap. So the poor people are caught up in the task trap. Yes, thank you, Marshall. Yeah, task trap. Yeah, task trap. Type it in the comment section. Task trap. Okay, now, and then Rachel says if it's digital, maybe. Of course, because digital in itself is system. Because if you have an online business that's automated your marketing, automated your selling and fulfillment, yes, it's a system, and that's exactly what we're talking about. So Rachel, you're already thinking like a rich person because you have set up that digital business in such a way that it's a system that continues to run even when you are sleeping. Elsie or Elise is joining from Congo. Wonderful. Chimes. No, clap from Congo. Absolutely wonderful. I think that's the first Congo. But I've had somebody, a medical doctor, who is from Congo, but working in Liberia, who was part of the Financial Fitness Challenge. Awesome. All right, okay. So the task trap, what is it? Task, T-A-S-K. What I can use to help you remember that is task stands for trapped at survival knowledge. Trapped at survival knowledge. You know, many animals just live on survival instinct, but we are more than animals. So task stands for trapped at survival knowledge. So this is where many hardworking people, very honest, hardworking people, that's where you find many hardworking people. That's where they live, especially entrepreneurs and self-employed professionals, which many of us are. Now, so T stands for, and you can type that in the comment section. So T in task stands for toiling daily for income. Toiling daily for income. So every single day is a hustle. You trade time for money. If you stop moving, everything stops. So that is what T is. Toiling daily for income. A stands for acting without strategy. That's also what happens, in the poor domain. Elise says you have a question. All right, before the end of the session. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you can ask it toward the end, Elise, and I'll remember. So people who repeat tasks act without strategy. You're just busy, but you're not strategic, and that's the thing, because often by the time you've repeated a task for 30 years of your 9-to-5 life, waking up, going to do exactly the same thing, driving the same place, whatever, same environment, at some point it just becomes automatic, and you just do it naturally without even knowing what to do. I remember a banker telling me this guy was already in his late 50s at the time. He was 58, 59 like me at the time, and retired from the bank. This guy was a big manager, a manager in the bank, was a big person, had worked in the bank for over 30 years of his life. So I remember an expression that he used. He called me, he said he was terrified that he doesn't know what to do. You would imagine that if somebody had worked in the bank for 30 years, that if the person comes out, that he would have his finances together. But it's not true. And some of you who are bankers can also testify that you have worked in the bank does not mean that when you come out to stand on your own that you're going to be rich. So he said that he could do his banking job asleep. He had done it so long and so often that he could do it asleep. That was that particular expression. So you see, the poor people repeat tasks, but the rich people repeat systems. So when you have repeated things like that every day, you stop acting without strategy, and then you stop planning for scale. The S in task stands for stuck in self-employment loop. You don't have a business, you just have a job that you own. Or even better than that, better put than that, the job owns you. And I tell you, because I've been there, you know, you're running a business. Outwardly, people say you are running a business, but then the reality is that the business is running you. The business is running you. And if you're in that position, that situation where the business is running you, you know how stuck it actually feels. And then K stands for knowledge not leveraged. You have wisdom and skills, but it's all trapped in your head. It's not documented, it's not monetized, it's not scalable. I'm working currently with a fantastic, brilliant small business owner. Brilliant small business owner. But you see, this business owner has employees, but those employees are just, what do you call people? You know, like in church, we talk about bench warmers. They are just like, what's the word? They are just there, but they are not there, because she's doing all the work for these people. This business owner is doing all the work, carrying everything, but she's brilliant. And so we are working in documenting her brilliance, documenting her successes, so that it can be monetized and then it can be scaled. So repeating tasks is a trap. It's a trap. You are always working, but you are not multiplying. Because repetition is not necessarily multiplication. Sometimes you hear people say, oh, I have 15 years experience. And then when you look at them, when I look at them or interview them, you see that this is not 15 years experience. It's just one experience repeated 15 times. That's why you wonder, people who are so busy, always busy, but they never have a financial breakthrough. They are always busy, but they are not growing. They are not multiplying. The harder they work, the poorer they become. It's because of this thing I've just told you. So you do not have 20 years experience. You have 1 year experience repeated 20 times, or one experience repeated 20 times. And so repetition is not necessarily multiplication. Now, let's look at the other side, which is the system shift. And then an acronym you can use to remember system is save yourself time, energy, and money. Can someone type it? Save yourself time, energy, and money. Do you like this acronym? Tell me. I loved it, you know, when I came up with it. System. Because that just summarizes what a system does for rich people. Save yourself time, energy, and money. This is how the wealthy people think. It's not about working harder. It's about building smarter. Yes, thank you, Rich David. Yeah, thank you for typing that. Absolutely. Yeah, Jackson said this is superb. Absolutely, yeah. I want to give us mind-shifting moments. The type I had and started seeing results in my finances. It's not about running around. It's not about working harder. It's not about, you know, running to and fro and reading too many books or attending too many financial independence programs. No, it's about this shift and having the right kind of knowledge that you can begin to implement. And I'm telling you, most people over 40, even in their 60s and then some in 70s, are poor and struggling because they don't have systems. In their 50s, they are still repeating tasks. And so if you're 50 listening to me, if you're in your 60s listening to me, if you're in your 40s listening to me, This is what you should do. Stop everything you are doing after today. And I'm going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to stick to the end. I'm going to give you a process and also give you a challenge. You know how you can do it. Stop repeating tasks. Start thinking about building systems. What systems can you build that will continue to earn even long after you have gone? Okay. So let's now break them down. S stands for structure. They document what works. They have standard operating procedures. That's what rich people do. They have templates and systems that others can follow. For instance, I have templates. I created prompts that will allow you, for instance, if you're a YouTube creator, that will allow you to generate chapters, that will allow you to generate the transcripts, like everything I'm telling you. At the end of it, I can generate a transcript and then pass it through a prompt that automatically reads, analyzes it, and puts it in chapters. So can you imagine if I have to do these things manually? So once I finish, I just transcribe it, send it to artificial intelligence, and use a pre-built prompt that I have probably used nearly 500 times. It works. It's a template. And that thing listens to everything I said, summarizes it, comes out with excellent chapters. That's why if you look at most of my videos, you see you can click and move to different places. Isn't that cool? That's a system. So S stands for structure. The rich people document what works, because if you don't document what works, you won't know what to repeat. Y stands for yield-based thinking. Yield-based thinking. So the rich people ask, how much return can I get from this effort even when I stop working? How much return can I get from this effort? So they are always thinking yield-based. And the rich people, because I'm one of them, this is what I do. I don't buy a gadget until I see in my mind how that money can be recovered through that gadget in 1 month, the first 1 to 3 months. Whether I'm buying a new MacBook, I'm buying a new iPhone or whatever. If I don't see how that thing will pay for itself, I won't buy it. I must be clear in my mind. This is how this thing is going to pay for itself. And so most of my tools have paid for themselves, sometimes 1,000 times over. And before I buy a new one, I have to think yield-based thinking. What's this thing going to yield? Not just once. How can it continue to yield? All right. The next S stands for scalability. The rich people build with multiplication in mind. If it works for 10, how can it work for 10,000? They build with multiplication in mind. They put out a prototype. They do not wait until it is perfect, but as they put up the prototype and see how the market responds to it. They make correction, they rebuild, they perfect it over time. Once they perfect it, then it's time for distribution. It's time for multiplication. So they always build with scalability in mind. The T stands for teams and tools. Rich people invest in people and technology to take over what drains them. And then in this AI gold rush, it's just amazing, you know, how many things you can do with AI. I recall how much money I used to pay for transcription years ago. And then when I send even an ordinary 10-minute video or 10-minute audio to the lady who was doing transcription for me, it will take like 2 weeks. It was not scalable. Now, I have subscribed to a service that I upload, even if it's 2 hours of video or audio, or 5 hours of video and audio, and it does it. It just does it for me with a snap of a finger. So you use tools to lessen your load. You pay for subscription. I pay $20 a month for ChatGPT because it's a useful tool. It's a useful to spend money for things that can help you, that relieve your work. So T stands for teams and tools. E stands for evergreen. The rich people create long-lasting systems like content, processes, or assets that don't expire with time. Some of you probably have heard about the great Dr. Miles Monroe. The man died probably like 10 years ago, but his content is all over the place on YouTube. It's never enough because in his lifetime, this man was extremely valuable. He had conferences, he had speaking engagements like tens of thousands, he had materials, he wrote books. So in another 100 years, Miles Monroe's content will still be consumed because it is valuable, it's evergreen, and it always speaks to every generation. It's talking about leadership, talking about, common sense wisdom. It's always there, generation after generation. He created evergreen content because he had evergreen thinking. He was a rich person. So rich people think about creating valuable content, things that will stay there long after they have gone. This is why it's such a tragedy that so many so-called content creators, especially TikTok, Facebook, in different places, they create very dirty, very, very useless content just to make people laugh. That content, the content that you're putting out there, and then making people laugh or something, or posting, stupid jokes, inconvenient jokes, shaming, women body parts and things like that. Guys, will that content be relevant in 10 years, in 50 years? In fact, would it even be relevant in another 1 week or in another 24 hours? The sort of things people post. So rich people don't do that. All these books behind me, I bought, from used bookstores in the United States, all of them. 98% of my books are bought, 95 to 98% are bought from used stores in the United States. Many of them are dead. I have like the complete books written by Robert Collier, one of the all-time top copywriters in the world. I have his course here. I have Robert Collier's course on copywriting right here. Fantastic. This guy probably lived like, I don't even know again, like in the 1930s, 40s. This content, this book is so valuable. And then sometimes you're listening to me, you're feeling the wow. It's because of the works, the valuable works of men who are long dead. I have books written by Benjamin Franklin in 1752. Right here. Benjamin Franklin, The Wisdom, in 1752. It's out of this world. So if you want to build systems like the rich people, you have got to think about evergreen content, not useless content. You just make people laugh, and then at the end of it, 50 years from now, we'll still be hearing, like more than 50 years or getting to 50 years since Earl Nightingale died. We're still consuming Earl Nightingales, and then we still marvel. He did The Strangest Secret in the World, The Strangest Secret, probably around 1960 or late 1950s. But you listen to this thing today, over 60 years since it was recorded, it is still evergreen. It's still moving men to today. And I have no doubt he's still earning his generation's money after all that. Okay, so that is evergreen. Then the M stands for measure and optimize. That you have created it and it's working doesn't mean that you should not measure and monitor the system. But the fantastic thing about systems, unlike tasks, is that once you build it, you don't need to be watching over systems like 24 hours. You don't need to sit there and watch it. You only need to monitor it, and all you might need is just a little dashboard on your cell phone. Wherever in the world you are, just look at the dashboard. Then you can log in and change whatever needs to be balanced, because you have metrics that you have set to show that the system is working. So this is how wealth becomes automatic. It becomes predictable. It becomes sustainable. I am so thankful that I've been able to implement these things myself at 59, going to my 60th birthday on 2nd December. And I really want you to be part of it. I really want you, especially if you're over 40, build systems. Stop chasing money like it's a random event. You earn, today you pursue one contract, you earn from that contract. The next day you do crypto. The next day no system. It's got to be systematic, build system. That's how the wealthy people think. And then when you do that, it makes your wealth predictable, it makes it automatic, and then it makes it sustainable. Okay, so let me give you a few examples we are now getting into the implementation part. How do you make this happen? And before I go to those examples, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to do so right now. If you think you've been getting value, hit that subscribe button right now. And then when you do, hit the notification bell so that whenever I'm live, you can get it. Do it right now. And if you believe you have been getting value, why don't you hit that love button? Just hit that love button, right now. And then share it. The algorithm loves it, so that people can find it and it will be useful for them. Because if you're getting value, the least you can do, I'm not charging you, the least you can do is to share it, is to let other people know about it. And then subscribe if you haven't done that. Okay. Emanuela is asking Mr. Obo, please, how? All right, that's where I'm getting to now, how to build systems. But the fastest shortcut is the Financial Fitness Challenge. If you haven't joined my monthly mentorship group, this is a good time, because look at what you're getting for free. How much more when you actually come there under my guidance? Because one of the things that I emphasize in the Financial Fitness Challenge is everyday money systems. Earn money every day. I earned money today, I earned money yesterday, I earned money 3 days ago, and it doesn't have to be a lot of money, but I have a system that constantly brings in income, and you can do it. So if you are not part of that paid mentorship group, tonight is your opportunity. Simply send a WhatsApp message and say, send me early bird payment details, and send it to +234 8088 000 111. Very, very easy. Just say, send me early bird payment details, and then we'll send you the details. The early bird is simply 105,000 Nigerian naira or $105 and I can tell you how to pay in your. All right, so let's look at real life versus system thinking in answer to Emanuela's question. Samson says, call the number again. Okay, the number is +234 8088 000 111. Very easy. +234 8088 000 111. And then you can be on your way joining my monthly mentorship group. You just pay once, that's all. It's not a subscription. It's not something you pay every month. It's not like you're paying $105 every month. Okay, so let me give you a few examples of, real life examples of task versus system thinking. Let's consider the digital hustle versus digital empire. So the task repeater, let's call him Danny, sends sales messages manually every single day. It might be on his WhatsApp, sending, repeating, or DMing and things like that. But there's The system builder, Ada, sets up email automation, lead magnets, and a simple funnel, and she sleeps while others come in. One of the most powerful things you can learn in your 40s is how to set up a sales funnel and how to set up and automate your sales funnel. And that is something that I'm currently building. So that is one example, digital hustle versus digital empire. The second will relate to real estate agents, because there are a couple of them I'm working with right now who are trying to sell some properties I want to sell. So there is a self-employed agent versus property system owner. And I see these agents, their lives are filled with so much hustle. They are task repeaters. So Sam, who is a self-employed estate agent, shows houses personally, one at a time. Takes people to this one house, comes back, takes other people to that house. It just goes around the whole place, showing people houses. That is a task repeater. But Dami, who is a system builder, trains junior agents, uses a listing platform, and closes deals even when he's traveling. He's in between airport, in between Heathrow and Johannesburg, and he's closing sales while waiting during layover, because it is a system. And especially in real estate, there's no place that hustle is easy, but I think it's particularly challenging in real estate, especially real estate the way we practice it in Nigeria is extremely draining. And I look at the lives of these people, the hustle is just draining. Especially if they are doing that in Lagos, they come from one place in Lekki to show a client a house. Then they drive, not even drive, because there was one that was showing us some property. She didn't have a car. So from Lekki, what do they call this place? Osapa, London side. She's there. She went there like 9-10 to show property. Now, someone is waiting at Yaba Alagomeji for her. And then you know what Lagos traffic is. She was supposed to come there by 12. By 12, she's still stuck at the Third Mainland Bridge. And then by the time he comes to show this other client, it's already 2 p.m. Then she has another one to show somebody at Apapa. My goodness, I pitied that woman. The day I saw her, I felt such pity. She didn't have a car. Terrible hustle. So by the time that somebody like that goes home, and then at the end of it, no sales. Meanwhile, she's not the only agent showing these same houses. So if another agent sells it before her, she doesn't get any commission. Very hard. But if this woman actually sits down, instead of spending all these months doing that, sits down for 1 month and builds a system, she'll be healthier. She doesn't need to travel all over the place. Because even just making videos, knowing how to make videos and upload and walk through and all that, instead of always having to go there, and then knowing how to screen and to qualify the prospect before traveling down there, it's terrible. But the system makes it possible. Is somebody getting the gist? Okay, so now the third real life example is the solo food vendor. We see solo food vendors versus the food brand founder. I've worked with many food brand founders like Boca Hut. Boca Hut is a lovely business. So if you ever find yourself in Boca Hut in Lagos, Boca Hut, just mention my name. They're very good, and I've consulted for them several times. So that's a food brand founder who has set up a system, and that system, of course, allows Boca Hut to have different branches across the place. I don't know how many branches. I have to call the CEO to find out how many branches that they've been able to expand to. There's also Boca Hut in Ghana. It's also an entrepreneur that I've worked with, but they are not the same business. Boca Hut in Ghana, fantastic lady, beautiful place. That's a system. But the solo food vendor cooks and sells everything by herself. She goes to the market, buys all the cooking materials, ingredients, then wakes up or stays awake overnight cooking. Then morning she goes out there to sell, and then the next day she repeats the same thing. So she's a repeater versus the food system builder who has created recipes and branded frozen packs, partners with stores and scales across regions. The same knowledge, one person repeats tasks, and then the other builds system. All right, so before I now take you through the workshop, because the question is, how do you convert from task to system? I'm sure it's a question that everybody watching this wants to hear. Am I correct? You are asking, how do I go from task to systems? How do I, go from a task repeater to a system builder? But let me give you a few things to help it sink in, and then we'll go to the workshop before I take a list question and other questions that you have. So number one, tasks give you daily bread, systems bake the bakery. So don't forget that. And number two, if your income depends on your presence, it's not a system, it's a treadmill. If any one of these things I'm saying really touches you, type it in the comment section. If your income depends on your presence, it's not a system, it's a treadmill. Which is why I think that, for goodness sake, if you're over 40 and you have worked, done 9 to 5 and then worked for 25 years, it's time to start creating systems, baby. Or you will die just repeating tasks, and you will never really be able to retire repeating tasks. You need to start creating systems. Number three, rich people don't hustle harder. They build smarter with systems that hustle for them. So you can type in the comment section, let the system do the hustle for you. You stop doing the hustling. Let the system do the hustle for you. Systems can hustle far better than you can do it. Okay. Number four, don't just work in your hustle. Work on your systems. So spend more time building systems than quenching brush fires in your business. Spend more time working on your systems. And then number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The poor chase money. The rich build machines. The poor chase money. The rich build machines. All right. So how do you go from a 9 to 5 task repeater to a system builder? So this is I'm going to give you a framework I call your task to system conversion map. Step number 1, write down 5 income producing tasks that you repeat weekly. And in fact, let's do the exercise as we're going on. Everyone, tell me, what is one income producing task that you repeat weekly or daily? Let's have some examples. I can give you some examples, but let's have your examples. What is it that brings in money to you, but you repeat it every week? You repeat it every... Could be something like cold calling. Could be something like content posting. Could be something like coaching calls. It could be something like client meetings. Give me your examples. Okay, Olalekan says consultation. Excellent. Okay. Yes, Demaris Wanjiru. Let the system do the hustle for you. Absolutely. All right. Great Man says email marketing is one income producing task that you repeat weekly. Everybody, keep going. Let's learn from one another. Let's learn from each other. What is one income producing task that you repeat weekly? Okay. Rich David says airdrop farming. Rich David, that's a very new one. Can you tell us a little bit more in the comment section what airdrop farming is? This is fantastic. I'm sure that's not hydroponic. That's different. What's airdrop farming? Tell us more in the comment section. All right. Nedi Obu says buying of shares. Okay. Adebanke says attending to customers in my shop. Right. That's repetitive. Ferdinand says wages. What do you mean by wages? Okay. Sekinat says selling courses. Yusuf says, making my chips, having to dry myself. Yeah, to dry it yourself and then to market it. Absolutely. Excellent. So you're already getting the hang of it. So that is what I want you to do. Not just one, not just two. I want you to write the top 5 income producing tasks that you repeat weekly. Then that is step 1. Pay attention. Step 2, ask these 3 questions. While looking at the list of the 5 income producing tasks that you do every single day, ask these 3 questions. Make note of these questions, and if you have to go back and rewatch this video after this, I think it's worth it. So question number 1, can I delegate this to a person? That let me look at some of the tasks that you talked about. Okay, for instance, Yusuf says making his chips and having to dry it by yourself and then market it. So list out all those things. Which of them, for instance, peeling it, drying it, which of them can you, the first question is, can I delegate this to a person? Question number 2, can I automate this with a tool? These 3 questions will set you free. The third question is, can I document it so someone else can follow it? Are you already beginning to see your freedom? So what I did with one small business owner who came for private coaching was exactly this. Listed all the processes in the business and then made this business owner to write standard operating procedures, because the essence is, if you bring in a new employee and even the people who are there, let them just look at the SOP and be able to do it, do those tasks. That is one amazing thing I learned during my career with Shell. These big companies, these multinationals, gigantic companies, where they have survived hundreds of years because of that one thing. This one thing. When I joined Shell, they gave me a big document filled with diagrams and maps. They called it EP manual. In that EP manual is all of Shell's entire operations, processes, systems documented. So if you want to do seismic data acquisition at a particular place, there's SOPs that says, all right, the origin, maybe director sends this, then even the email that is written, who the email goes to, the content of the email, the meetings, who should meet, and then which departments it goes from this department. Then from there it goes to, they used to call us geomatics at that time, because we handle the surveying, the geographic information systems, my department, and then the remote sensing. And then there were several places that Shell you couldn't go because there were swamps, so you can't go there. But we use remote sensing. My team will use remote sensing, satellite data, Landsat, ER data, RadarSat, all kinds of satellite data, to guide the team, to let them know this is how the place is, and then any marks or something, and then even plotting it. And then from my department, it goes to another one. All those things were documented. So you could literally enter Shell and run that business by just opening that. So why don't you do the same thing for your business? That's how they create systems. That's how Shell outlives any common individual. So you might come in and then you are, like they used to call some of us, high flyers. But if you decide to leave tomorrow, nobody holds Shell at, well, that was the Shell in those days, the one I don't know how the company is today. So no single human being held anybody to ransom, that if you are not there or maybe you call in sick, work will not go on. No, because everything has been documented. So if the managing director died, it didn't affect one bit the operations, because everything and everybody already knows what to do. So that is step number 2. Is this helping somebody? Please tell me something. Tell me something. Is this value? Type value in the comment section. Let me just make sure that this is valuable. Okay. So step number 1, write down 5 income producing tasks that you repeat weekly. Step number 2, ask these 3 questions. Now, step number 3, choose one and build your first system. So choose one and build your first system. Some examples could be, for instance, if you're always going back and forth trying to book clients, I use Calendly. There was a time I used Calendly when I was doing a lot of one-on-one coaching before I decided to do one-to-many, which is what I'm doing right now, and which is what the Financial Fitness Challenge group is about. I use Calendly. Calendly allowed me to indicate my free slots, and Calendly allowed me to determine how much I could do. Like I say, for instance, on Thursday I'm only able to take 3 client calls on Thursday, and I want to do it between 9 a.m. and 12. So when anybody wanted to book a call with me or to see me, I just sent my Calendly link, and then when the person goes there, he will see all the list of options of my availability, and then choose one. And then when he books, Calendly tells me automatically, puts it in my calendar, and then I get automated. That's amazing. So can you imagine, versus people are just sending you messages, I want to talk to you one-on-one. They send you on LinkedIn, they DM you on TikTok, they DM you on YouTube, everywhere. That's chaos. That's not a system. That's going to make me poor if I do that. So I use Calendly I just send it to people, they look at the availability, and then they pay. Calendly allows, because, if you want 1 hour of my time, you pay for it. And so Calendly helped me a lot, filtering out all because not everybody who wants to see you. You shouldn't see everybody who wants to see you, because I don't have that time to see everybody. So sometimes the way I get to know people who are really serious, Calendly allowed me to put a payment gateway. You pay to see me. So once you pay, I get notification for your paying and all that, and then you book, and then I just talk to you. So there's nothing like, okay, when you call me, all right, have you paid, whatever. That's what systems and tools, do for you. You can also record a video tutorial to train your assistants, to train your employees. You can record a tutorial instead of always repeating yourself every Friday afternoon, Monday morning. You deliver the same training. Do video and then record it, for them. So you might not be there for 2 weeks, but the video is there, still teaching people. Maybe you have a selling system. You have a way that you handle your customers cautiously. You have a way that you sell, that you close on that. Do a video, record it, put it in your company's intranet or something, to train people instead of repeating. The third thing you can do, for instance, is to build a template for your weekly posts. So it takes 10 minutes instead of 2 hours. That is step 3. So I have just given you the process to go from a task repeater to a system builder. Isn't that amazing? Just breaking it down for you like that. It's not complicated. All right. So wealth is one system, a system away for you. So let me just say this plainly. If you want income, repeat tasks. If you want freedom, repeat systems. So let me give you a challenge. Something you can do over the weekend. As you know, our live sessions are Mondays to Friday, and today is a Friday, so we are not going to have it tomorrow and next until Monday. So let me give you a challenge you can do over the weekend. Pick one area of your life where you are stuck repeating. One area of your life where you are stuck repeating. Number 2, create a system to replace, to reduce it, or to multiply that. Number 3, repeat that system until it prints money, time, or sanity. You don't need 1 million followers. You don't need to be a genius. You just need one system. You are one system away from wealth. You need one system that works when you are not working. I have systems that I wake up every morning to some credit alerts. And I'm telling you sincerely, especially if you're over 40, there's no better way to wake up than to wake up to a credit alert on your phone. And so while I was sleeping, the system was working overnight, literally every morning. It's not a lot of money. That's not the issue. Like I keep saying, it's not a lot of money. I am not a millionaire. I'm on the journey. I've learned a lot, and I'm sharing what I've learned and what I'm doing. One day I will become a millionaire. Now I'm not. But these systems are working. And because they're working, I can scale them. So it's becoming easier and easier to become a multi-millionaire. You can wake up every day to a credit alert. It might be $5. It might be $10. It doesn't matter. The thing is that you have a system, because $10 that comes in every single day is much more powerful from a cash flow standpoint than $10,000 that just comes when it comes, and you don't know, you can't predict when it's going to come. That $10 every day means something, all right? So say this with me: I am not just a worker, I'm a builder of systems. And I want you to go out of this session with that in mind. And then before I take your questions and then your aha moments, I always want you to tell me your aha moments. I read them. I can assure you I read them. And it helps me to know how I can help you much further. So if something has been an aha for you that you heard today, that stood out for you, that you heard it and then you just said, wow, I want to hear what it was that made you say, wow, that made your eyes pop up, that was a rhema, a revelation for you, type it in the comment section. So while you are doing that and also writing your question, I'm going to take 2-3 questions before we close. I want to tell you about the Financial Fitness Challenge. It's my paid mentorship group. You pay peanuts, early bird of $105 or 105,000 Nigerian naira or whatever conversion in your currency. And you join in the Financial Fitness group. And I particularly encourage people between 35 and 65, because it's not that it's not useful for people in their 20s or something. But listen, people in the later half of their lives many people have serious money regrets. And they're carrying this money regrets and then money pains. You made money, you lost it, you were defrauded, all kinds of things happened to you before you were 50. Now you're in your 50s, you are still repeating systems. The Financial Fitness Challenge is particularly good for you because you will leave that place with clarity. The first thing that will hit your head is clarity. I have people in their 60s in the Financial Fitness group, people in their 40s, 50s, who like, what in the world have I been doing? A 60-something-year-old woman said, where have you been, Mr. Obo? Where have you been? Why am I just knowing about you? And it's not really about me. It's because of the pain I've gone through and the learnings and the wisdom. Because when you listen to me, you can tell that it is not book knowledge. I'm not, even though I'm a professor in some business schools, it's not book knowledge I'm giving you, okay? So, to join the Financial Fitness Challenge and to pay the early bird, just send a message, nothing else. Just send me early bird payment details to WhatsApp number +234 8088 000 111, and you can join the group right now. We're enrolling for this current month right now, and it's going to be wow. There's so many things that people are asking that we want to bring into the curriculum, like how do you set up a YouTube channel and monetize it, like how do you earn money with AI. All these are things that we're going to make practical, and then helping people in the later half of their years, to remove their fear of technology. Who told you? I'm 59, I'm making money with AI. I'm 59, I'm making money on YouTube. Some days $170, some days $100, some days $400 or something every single day at 59. You can do it. You can do it. So join the Financial Fitness Challenge mentorship, my mentorship group right now. and then we'll get rolling. Okay. So let me look at now I'm looking for your question. Who told me that she or he had a question? All right. So you can type it right now. I will see it. Even if you had typed it before, I think it's buried in the comments. All right. Jackson says, kindly, sir, which books can I read? Which books can I read to get all this knowledge? So you are indirectly asking me to write a book because it's not in any one book. But if you are asking me for book recommendations, to start understanding money a little bit more, to start understanding money knowledge, the first book I always recommend, of course, I have books. Actually, you can start with my books. There's Financial Freedom for Every Busy Professional, and there's Financial Freedom for Every Youth. So I wrote those books when I left Shell. You can actually start there. They're a fantastic book. The third book I would recommend would be How to Win Friends and Influence People. Most times, the place you get the deepest knowledge is not even in books talking about money. So Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, I consider it one of the greatest wealth books written. I don't know how many times. I've listened to the audio so many times, and I have it downloaded on my system. Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad is a very good one. Then there is The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. Is very good. And if you haven't read The Alchemist, please do. These are the books I read. Sometimes I read books like, history books of ancient India and China. I have books like that, the culture and traditions of ancient, India and China. So generally read wide, but just start with something that you enjoy. Oh yeah, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Fantastic book. Fantastic book. Very little book you can read on the sitting. Another one, Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. That's one of the greatest books ever written. So these are books. And then the Book of Solomon, Proverbs. King Solomon is unequaled, when it comes to wisdom with human beings. And the Book of Solomon, the Book of Proverbs has 31 chapters. So what I have done many times and made my children do is read one chapter of Proverbs a day for 31 days, then repeat the next day. It's incredible. You can't read that. You can't read the Proverbs of Solomon and remain the same. I'm telling you. In fact, Proverbs gives a perfect balance between wealth, spirituality, and living a life of purpose. Because this whole thing is not just about money in the bank. It's a lot deeper than that. So that's a good question, and I hope that has helped. Jackson. All right, Moses says your aha moment is build systems to automate repetitive tasks and to make money. All right. Bond Great says, how do you join the Financial Fitness Challenge? Send me early bird payment details to WhatsApp number +234 8088 000 111, and then you will get all the details. Stella says, how can a mama build a system in a situation where he or she has to cook and sell freshly prepared food? Very good. Follow the system that I just told you. What are the repetitive tasks that you do? What are the core 5 tasks in that business? What are the core 5 core tasks, 5 pillars that if you remove them, that business will not succeed? Make a list of them. It could be, for instance, you start your mama put by going to the market. You probably go to the market every day to buy fresh meat. You can ask yourself, how can you automate it? What tools or devices can you? Because if you can cut off the time. Remember, I told you system saves you, it saves you money, it saves you energy, it saves you strength. Now, instead of going to the butcher every single day, why don't you invest in a very, very brand new and strong freezer that can take your meat, and then you wash it, it's already prepared, and you can use solar, because if you're in Nigeria, I know you have serious problems with power. So you invest in a system like that that can actually, so that in the morning you don't need to start going to the abattoir very early to start getting fresh meat and things like that. You can do the same thing with fresh vegetables. How can you get supplies? Then instead of you going to the market to buy them, why don't you create a system where the vendors come to supply you? You vet them, you write down the sort of qualities of the raw materials of the food ingredients that you use in cooking, and then invite all those sellers to come and become your sellers. And then if you buy 1,000 naira when you go there, and then those people, you're buying the best of the best, and they decide to sell you 1,200 naira per unit and supply, deliver to you at your cooking place, I will pay the 1,000 too, because that 200 on top of it, you think about your transportation, you think about all the stress going to the market to do it every day. You will be amazed. So that's automation. So instead of you going to buy the raw materials come straight to you. Do you see how much you've saved yourself, money, time, and everything, and energy? All right, so I hope that helps. So list things like that, and then you ask those 3 questions I asked you. Who can you delegate this to? Is there a system or two that you can use to replace this? And then the third question was, can I document it so someone else can do it? So if you have a particular recipe on how you prepare ogbono soup, or how you prepare your oha soup or something, why don't you write it? Don't assume. Write it out. So liters of water in this pot, this number of grams of salt, of pepper, this and that. Then boil the water. After 5 minutes, add the crayfish. After this other one, add the stockfish and all that. Write it down. Not so many mama put. No, in fact, there's no mama put I know that does that. And then when you do it, you can find that even any day you don't go to that place, somebody else that's there can take it, prepare the same recipe, and they wouldn't even know that you were not there. Is this helping somebody? All right, let me take one more question. Wendy says, aha moment, you reminded me of something you keep saying. Wealth hates randomness, wealth follows systems. Absolutely. Okay, Elise, okay, even if you are not a millionaire in money, you are a millionaire in knowledge. Oh, thank you, Elise. Thank you. Yeah, the money will come someday. For now, I want to serve. And, one of my guiding principles is what the late Zig Ziglar said. I was wowed. It was an aha moment for me when I heard him say that. He said, you can have anything you want in this life if you only help enough people get what they want. I believe it, and I believe it verbatim. That's part of why I'm doing well, because if I can help you to get what you want, I myself will get whatever I want. So you're right. I may not have the millions of dollars, but I do have the heart to serve people and to help them, at least to get to where I am, and then to cross me, to overtake me. Okay, at least I can't see I'm looking for the question you said you had. I can't find it, but let me just read a few more aha moments. Rich Davis said, my aha moment is earning as little as $10 daily is better than $10,000 that just come once and you don't know when it will come again. Absolutely. Cash flow is very powerful. All right, Elise, is this your question? He said, okay, I have a very important question. I missed a session of sell, which you did. After I make an offer, how can I ask for a sell? What is the best way, and what does it make money through? I don't understand it, but let me
answer what I think you are asking. So the question is, after you make an offer, how can I ask for a sale?
See the way, just do it the way I've just done it. I've made you an offer, for instance, in the Financial Fitness Challenge, and I asked for the sale. Just ask for it. Just ask for it. There's no science or something, whatever. So you asked, after you make the offer, would you like to get started? If you are, let's say you're offering products like t-shirts. I'm just using that as an example. So I have this beautiful t-shirt, and then the offer is not the product. The offer is the product plus. I hope you understand that offer is not necessarily product, because everybody might sell this t-shirt, but what makes your t-shirt better than other people is the offer, the way you position it. So I can say, I have this t-shirt for tropical environment. It absorbs sweat and it does not let you sweat. So this is for very, very busy, energetic people who sweat a lot. This absorbs it, keeps them cool, and it does not smell. That's an offer. Now, when I make that offer to you, I will ask you to buy. But then the way I will ask you, I will not ask you, so do you want to buy? So there's in that regard, there's a science to it. So what I will do is I will ask, after making the offer, I'll ask the customer or the prospect. So Mr. Prospect, do you want the red or the blue? I won't ask him, do you want to buy? The answer is going to be no. But say, do you want the red or the blue? So in that case, I've already assumed the sales. And now his brain doesn't have a no. His brain has two options. And then he'll say, okay, I'm a boy, so let me go for the blue. That's how you can ask for the sale. I hope that helps. All right, let me read one more. There's a message that is held for review. Okay. Okay, what else? No, I beg your pardon. Who is down Beetle? We don't want people like you here. See, you always come everywhere. You always come everywhere. Okay. We have trolls everywhere who are not here to learn but to distract other people. Okay. So your second question is, what does it mean to make money out of thin air? That's exactly what it means, to make money out of thin air. Thin air is, okay, I did it when I left Shell. In 2008, I didn't have money. So let me explain thin air situation. I didn't have money to start my consulting business in terms of getting, in those days, it was important to have an office, and most corporate organizations want to know your office is in Victoria Island, your office is there. They want to know your office because for some reason, they believe that if you're good, then you must have a very expensive office. I don't know how many of you remember those days, in the 1990s and 2000s. Now, I didn't have that kind of money. And then my mentor, who turned 85 in March this year, said to me, Ogbo, if you have money to start a business, you buy and sell. If you don't have money to start a business, you sell and buy. That's how to make money out of thin air. You sell and buy. Let's say you don't have money to start a business, but you are very good at selling. And then you get to a property owner, like I have property right now that I'm selling. Okay, I'm asking for a certain amount, but the guy I asked to sell my property is adding some money on top of it, to sell. So if I ask I ask him to sell it for 80 million, but he has people that he's offering 90 million. and they like it. So what happens? When he finishes, he gives me my 70 million, and then he takes whatever he added plus the agent commission, which in this part of the world is 5%. He's just made money out of thin air by connecting the owner and the buyer. I hope that helps. And so that's how to make money out of thin air. Sell something that doesn't necessarily belong to you, take the commission off it, then until you have enough money to start your business and do whatever
you want to do. Please, after the session, upload this video. Oh yeah, the video is going to be there. It's going to be there. It's not going to be deleted. Okay. All right.
I think that's a very good. We're already 15 minutes past the hour. I had no idea. I'm enjoying this so much. I had no idea that it's already 15 minutes past the hour. It's been a wonderful pleasure having this session and concluding this week. So whatever happens, join the Financial Fitness Challenge. I'm going to hang around for another 15 to 20 minutes for your WhatsApp messages. And then after that, I'm going to go to bed, and it's going to be tomorrow before I can answer you. Because you can actually get started right now joining the group. The group is very vibrant. It's already there, and there are resources. Sometimes when I finish videos like this, I add the worksheets right there in the group. So take advantage right now. Whatever happens, keep showing up, because you have no idea what's coming your way next. And I'll see you exactly same time Monday evening. Good night.